not doing an introduction a third time. I'm sorry. Is it okay? Is it working now? Amelia, you cannot touch a single thing after this. Your hands are bound. You are like my father in 2002, right between when like TVs got that final one remote and like you wanted to watch a movie, but he was like, nah, I gotta change these settings. We're gonna get the perfect settings. The settings are done now. We're done. Keep your hands back. Welcome to Blerd. We're in Blerd. We're in Blerd Roundtable, where us, black nerds, will have a roundtable discussion about things. And sometimes my cat will be here. Hi, Fonz. My cat is also black, so it's still a black roundtable. This week we're talking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, aka Winter Falcon, because that name is too long. And people might have like a lot of opinions of the show. That is my one opinion of the show that will never change. That is a long ass title. But episode one came out yesterday. To Falcon. So we're gonna talk about episode one. Um, so if you haven't seen it, spoilers. And if you don't want to see it, don't worry. We're entertaining enough to carry you through. Amelia, do you want to go through what happened in episode one?
Please do so.
Fine. I
That is accurate. That is
Yes,
accurate.
it is. Okay. So
Okay,
I
can
will
I have
keep
something to say
talking.
about that though.
Okay. Yes.
I think that Marvel does have like that. I want to say a habit of just really relying on their action sequences. And for this show, you could have honestly like walked away for 10 minutes, like in the middle of it,
That's
and come
true.
back and like not miss anything. I
That's true.
almost feel like it was unnecessary, but that's just my opinion.
I
Oh
liked
wait, it
it
says can't hear
because
Amelia.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Amelia.
God fucking damn. What's the gain on this shit? Okay.
Wait, someone heard that.
Okay.
There we go.
I don't. Okay. Basically, all I said is the first 15 minutes was like it was just an action sequence, and I was trying so hard to pay attention, but I've been playing solitaire a lot, so I was playing solitaire while I was watching. Okay, it's bad when I was leaning back. Okay, yeah, I moved the mic closer to my face.
I think the main thing that I liked about that initial sequence is that it established the love between Torres and Falcon. I know it's supposed to be platonic, but in my eyes, I was like, this is high school romance, you know? Falcon's the big quarterback, and he's the freshman who's trying to decide if he's going to join the team. That was amazing. That, but all that also, I don't know, maybe I haven't like paid attention in the past movies, but this was like the first time where I was like, oh, they fucking kill people. They are
Yeah.
straight up. There's like,
Yeah.
like before you could be like, maybe they survived what, but I was like, no, that guy was in the plane when it exploded.
Yeah.
Full on. This one I was like, oh, is this?
Oh my fucking god, he fucking did.
I'm not a fan. I am confused as to how this works now. So Sam works for the Air Force?
But like off the
Yeah,
books
he's
is like the
very
vibes that I got.
Off the book. Okay, I
Yes.
wasn't sure if it's like he literally
Which is why he doesn't
works
have an income
just
or like a
collabs.
pension or
I
whatever.
think he's like a contractor, like more like
Okay.
contractor.
Yeah, he freelances. It's another way we have another thing we have in common.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly. And so we have the first 15 minutes. We have that action sequence. We have the Frogman come back because if people remember, he was in Winter Soldier on the boat.
Sure.
He was the kicky guy. And in the comics, he's like a French frog kick man. Like I can't that like people can correct me on his actual name, but that's how I remember it. And like I think in the comics his outfit is purple, and I think he was wearing purple in the show. So I was like, okay, that's the French frog kick man. Good for him. Came back just to get his ass beat twice.
Love that for him.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we're in Tunisia. They have this great little chit chat, and we get to learn that some people think the world is better during the blip.
That's really interesting.
I understand why they would think that though, because first of all, that was like Thanos' whole goal, to make the world a better place with half the people missing.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, like everyone's going to be like emotionally damaged by that, but literally all the resources are basically doubled now. So with half the people gone, you got a lot more shit to go around. And then suddenly when people come back, you have a lot less shit to go around.
Well, and I think
one of
I was just going to say, one of the things that I think is important about how the world was better before the blip is that people like the fact that the entire mortgage industry and like the loan industry didn't update and it's still being more punitive after the fact, even though people have been gone for like 5 years. I think there's something to be said for not, oh God, I almost sound like libertarian, disgusting. But there's something to be said for how the world kind of adjusted to their new normal. And then as soon as it happened, people tried to revert back to something that continued to screw over everyone.
Yeah, I think the two factors that are really important in how the world, first of all, the fact that we are getting new shows that are showing the consequences of the blip, it kind of gives us more of like grounding into the universe, because before it was like, something happened, Tony Stark blew up a tower, we're fine, like. But this one is just showing, like, kind of like in medieval times with the plague, they're like, well, you can't say that I can just find another worker because half the workforce is gone. So people probably got better jobs, people probably got better wages, and then people advanced. And when people came back, they were just like, well, what about my job? And you're like, I'm not saying you're fired.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're fired, but you're fired.
Yeah.
And so all these people, and also it kind of lends into people who were already eco-fascists, which I think is the big thing that is coming in with this new group, because there are a lot of people who are like, well, if people aren't here, we could feed the world, when actually we have all the resources to feed the world. I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure Bezos probably got blipped, and that probably fixed the world's problems. And now Bezos is back, and everyone's like, I guess we're on our capitalist bullshit again.
Yeah, and you know, Shield didn't do like shit in 5 years because Hayward, or not Shield, Sword didn't do shit in 5 years because Hayward was in charge, and so they weren't fucking things up because he's just a dumbass.
To be fair, like, they were not, I don't think they were ever prepared for people to come back. I think they just assumed people were dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone had thoughts of like, oh, what do we do when the people come back? Like they were like,
well,
honey, they ain't coming back.
I think it was like that tier of like how many people held out, which I want to see some spicy romance fallout.
Yes.
Because like, till death do you part, right? How does the blip, like, how many people came back and I'd be like, I knew you were fucking my sister, you moved on too fast.
Wait, have you ever seen the show the 4400?
No.
No, I have not.
Okay, so in the show The 4400, it's about these 4400 people that like mysteriously disappear like throughout time, and then one day in like, I think it was like 2011 or 2010, they all come back like in front of like some lake in Washington, and they haven't aged a day. Some of them have been gone since the 40s or whatever, and some people come back and like their spouses have remarried and have like a completely different family. And it's awkward. It's awkward as hell because they're just like, so we thought you were dead. So we're basically divorced. I know we're still married, but like, sorry. It's very awkward.
God.
Like, there's so many, because the thing is, especially when you meet other people who were married and got blipped, and like they come back and it's like, my spouse waited for me, and it was like, my spouse went to Cabo and like got married to a billionaire.
Or like,
absolutely right. Sarah Tops knows what I'm talking about. That's a great show. It's a great show.
But like, you also have the, what if someone lost their whole family and they killed themselves only for you to be blipped 5 years later and everyone, you know, you cared about died because they thought you were dead? Or like the, you know, one person in one relationship died and one person in another died, and so they just hooked up and they've been together leaning on each other for the past 5 years, and then their spouses come back and it's like, oh, well, we thought you were dead. True.
Polyamory? I don't know. Is that...
I mean, that's always like it depends.
Right? Because I remember, it was the comedian Shane Smith. He talked about his grandfather who, like, World War II vet, you know, I think he was Jewish, Swedish, and his first wife died. And he got a second wife later in life, and the second wife asked, like, oh, like, do you think like will be something about heaven or what happens after they die? And he was like, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna go find my first wife after death, so you work on that. And
Oh.
I'm just like, how many people like what? I want to know. Marvel, I beg you, give me trash TV drama, like Bravo style,
Oh yeah.
post-blip content.
Like, I feel like that's almost, oh my god. Like, is it Fear the Walking Dead? Is that,
Maybe.
that's like essentially, you want a Fear the Walking Dead version of this?
Yeah,
What else happened in that
Yeah.
episode?
exactly. Marby knows. Like, stay breezy. Like, it was great, but when we part, I remarry.
Yeah.
So we get that. We get Indonesia. We get like the fact like people are just like kind of trying to figure out what the new normal is, and also we hear Sam. I like the thing is like they did the thing where they established how smart Sam is.
Yeah.
That he's a very smart man because he was just like every time you guys touch my Red Wing, things get messed up, and I think that's really good because I don't know, it's just good establishing.
Yeah.
Get Torres, love of my life, actually love of Momo's life. I will love from afar, and then
Beautiful.
we move
Mine, back
forward.
off.
Yes, and then we move forward to Bucky in therapy.
Okay, I have something to say though. Or maybe
Okay.
I'll say this. Oh, no, I want to say it now. I don't know about the choice to not have them meet up in episode 1. Like, I get what they're prolonging, but if we get to episode 3 and they haven't met up yet, I think I'm out. I'm out.
I think it makes.
It's gonna make the show really awkward.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense because they weren't friends. Like they were like Cap was the glue keeping them together, and Cap retired. And Bucky was like, also, I have to deal with a lot of trauma, and I respect that. Bucky,
Yeah.
But it seems like
mandated therapy.
But it does seem like Sam has been trying to contact Bucky.
Yeah, and I think that's
Yeah.
realistic. I think I like as much as we like love Bucky, that man literally just got his brain back. He got 2 years in Wakanda, got blipped, came back, Cap said bye, and now he's just like,
Why can't he just chill back in Wakanda? He seemed like he was doing what I don't know what Wakanda is like right now actually, because Thanos fucked it up. But I still think it would be better than New York City.
I think
agree.
he had to go because he was still a war criminal. He was like, ah.
So, okay.
I have not seen Endgame because I refuse to see anything Tony Stark is in. Is Cap actually on the moon or is that a joke?
That's a joke. He's
No,
just
Cap
super old
retired.
now.
He went back. Yeah, he went back in time, met up with Peggy, and was like, you know what? I can't do this no more. Which I say is valid. He was carrying everyone on his back, and I feel like full disrespect to Tony Stark. I feel like there are a couple characters who breathed easy, being like, all right, at least we know we won't cause extra problems now. And so Cap retired.
Carry on, please. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, Ravi said that the therapist was terrible, but bad in a very realistic way. I liked the therapist.
That's good.
I like the therapist in the sense that the therapist, I agree, is very realistic. Because Purvis, like, she's not a great therapist because Bucky doesn't trust the government, and it's a government-mandated therapist who has to report on Bucky's progress. And I'm like, in what world is he gonna let the government back in his mind, even if it's therapy?
Like, there's no way to get any growth because what is he going to be like? Yes, I am having nightmares. I keep reliving all the times I murdered people. Okay, cool. Are we done here? Like... It's like human resources is not your friend. Your government-appointed therapist for the shady organization as an ex-Soviet assassin is not your friend.
Yeah. The only thing she said that was correct is that Bucky needs friends.
Bucky does need friends.
And Bucky did have a friend, but the friend came with baggage. Which is...
Oh, it's so awkward.
You're just like, at first I was slightly confused because I thought it was the the guy from Captain, like the first
One of the
Captain
Howling.
America.
Yes, same.
Yeah, because I was like, he was like, all right, so we have an Irish man, a black man, and a Japanese man. I was like, maybe one of them lived. You know, they're reminiscing about the old days, and it's just no, it's a new old man. I was like, sorry, but.
God.
And honestly, I don't know if I would tell him. I know he would tell him.
I
don't know if I would.
I may be problematic, but I think the whole making amends thing, I think it's bullshit. I don't think you have to tell everyone or apologize every bad thing that you've ever done, because I know the guy thinks he wants closure, but knowing who killed your child, even because the guy knew it was wrong place, wrong time, and it was. The fact that the person who killed him is right in front of him, there's nothing he can do about that. You know, he's not going to go to jail for it, because if he was, he would already be in jail. Like, the government knows all the people that the Winter Soldier killed. And it's one of those things that maybe, I don't even think it would help Bucky. I don't think I don't think confronting that aspect of his past is necessary for growth. I'm not the Marvel government appointed therapist, but it just seems like it's going to drag up a bunch of bad shit
Also,
with like no good reward.
The people has to make amends to. Like, I was so confused why he had to make amends to the Hydra agent, and I was like, seems suspicious. Seems weird.
Like,
Not a fan.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right.
But part of me was like, also, I was like, you know what? HR making you do bullshit things that actually don't address the issue tracks.
Very realistic. Very realistic.
It's that therapist is so realistic, and that's why I don't like her. I was like, okay, I'm sorry, your insurance, which probably doesn't exist, only gives you this one therapist, but like,
yeah, he doesn't have insurance. I mean, Sam doesn't get anything. That's the thing. That's how we were like, you know, we were all watching WandaVision, and we were like, how do none of these people have therapy? Apparently, they don't get shit. Apparently, they don't get benefits. God knows they don't get healthcare.
What I understood about like they thrive off of goodwill, I just understood that to mean like they just basically survive off of people giving them free shit.
I think it was Tony, and then when Tony, that's the thing that I don't get is like, did Tony not set aside anything in his estate for like
this is Tony
payments?
Stark. You think he thought of anyone but himself?
You think
he thought to give Spider-Man the kill switch to destroy everything. Like, what is going through this man's head?
Edith, even dead, I'm the hero. Like,
God.
that was still about him.
Yeah.
He's such an asshole.
Okay, so this is the thing that one of the things I love about Civil War. It showed how like white privilege rich Tony was, because every decision he made, he could only make because he was a rich white man. He gets confronted, and then he was like, hey guys, I'm signing this government thing because someone yelled at me, so we all need government watching. Okay? And you're like, all right. Then he's like, oh, we have to bring Cap in? Cool, I'll fight him. But then as soon as he learns that it had anything to do with him personally, he's like, never mind, I'm going to break this rule that Cap already broke, but now I'm more right to break it.
Oh.
Beat everyone's ass.
I hate
and
it.
Throw these bitches in prison. And then he goes into the prison and fucks up the prison to get information for himself and leaves with no consequences. And I was like, at what point did Tony Stark get any actual consequences for anything in Civil War? And so moving forward into like this post-blip society where Tony Stark is dead, of course Pepper don't give a fuck. Listen, Pepper is a lot of things. Pepper just wanted to vibe out. Pepper was like, listen, Tony, I know Pepper was in an unhappy marriage. And now that she has her daughter, she doesn't give a fuck. She's done everything that she had to do based on Tony Stark's will, and now she's ghosted.
Yeah.
Cap has money. If he literally had $1 in one compounding bank account,
he knew to invest in Apple and shit. He knows that thing's like, hey, pantyhose, Cap, I promise you're gonna ride that to the late 90s. Once that starts tapering off, Apple, then PayPal, then Facebook, then Google, like
all those bonds that he probably did, all those checks he didn't cash, all those bennies because he like is a vet, so any residuals. Same with Bucky. Bucky probably has just enough because he was probably like, he was like, I actually didn't die, and they're like, oh, here's all your war shit.
Yeah.
Thanks. And he's like, cool. So like anyone who had money had money. Anyone who didn't have money is like, whoa, guys. Wait.
Can you still get your GI Bill shit if you're technically a traitor to the country? Like, technically speaking.
I
don't think you can. I don't think you can.
Define traitor. If you're just like, listen, are we traitor because
Thanks for the follow.
how many of y'all had Hydra up in here? And you're gonna be like, ooh.
Whom among us was not a traitor to the country?
who among us didn't get caught when that Hydra shit dropped?
Yeah.
Like,
Okay, so what part of the show are we on now? We're
in
at
therapy.
We go to-
Oh, yeah, we finished.
we
Yeah,
finished
okay.
therapy.
yeah.
And then
So
we
now
go to
we're
Louisiana.
Huh? What do you say
Uh,
after
We
that?
are. We're in Louisiana.
Yeah,
so
we're in
now
Louisiana.
Okay, now we're in Louisiana. Okay.
And we meet Sam's family. I would die for his sister.
Unfortunately, this is not the thick bitches squad.
Listen. Listen. I am a thick bitch.
I'm
just
not.
have extra large titties. Listen.
It's just high
let me tell you
up.
something. Let me tell you something.
Please do.
Do not ever say I'm not a thick bitch. Just because I wear an extra a 5XL hoodie does not mean I'm a thick bitch. These titties have raised over $300 for Planned Parenthood in less than an hour. So I know what I am doing.
God,
Damn.
an
That
icon.
was so off the plot. I don't know why. I
Okay,
don't know.
he's being weird. I'm gonna block him.
That's fair. In Louisiana, we get the whole. I think we get another insight into like
How the fuck did
how
I do
the blip,
that?
not only the blip affects family, but like how like being a vet or being like anyone like superhero affects your family life in real life. Because like Sam just is like, hey, and this is just like, bitch, I've been through this. Calm down. Calm down.
Like, you
Like,
know what?
Thank you did important things, but calm down.
You know what this made me think about? Because in like the Avengers they don't have secret identities like they do in like the DC universe. The DC
Yeah.
universe heroes have incomes because they have actual jobs. But these MCU heroes, they're just like, we literally survived off of Tony Stark and now he's dead. So I guess it's just a struggle bus.
The thing is like, I feel like something about the Sokovian Accords also had something to do with that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Did I read the Sokovian Accords? No.
No.
Are they available to be read? Probably. Will I find it? No.
No. Also, it doesn't
not a
matter
thing.
because I wouldn't sign them either.
There is no point. Also, once again, at Wanda, I'm so sorry that they named the thing that puts you in a shock collar in an underwater prison the Sokovian Accords.
That's very on brand, though. That's very on brand for the government.
Oh God.
That was the biggest bitch slap I have ever seen. Like, Sam, I understand Sam's feelings, but also I have never been more mad at a man.
Listen, the way I have so much to say, I literally yelled at my screen when he was like, I'm gonna give the shield to the Smithsonian. I'm just like, why the fuck would you do something so stupid?
God.
Like, that is the dumbest shit
Of all
I
of
have
the things.
ever fucking heard, Samuel. What did you think was gonna happen?
Has he not
Like,
been
what
there
did
this
you
whole
really-
time? This whole time? Why are you giving shit to the government?
Why
And,
would you
like-
ever expect the government to do anything else than what it did? What?
Yeah.
Where have you
Also-
been? Where have you been?
As a person who has a museum and gallery studies master's degree, I can tell you a lot. They don't need the original shield. Like,
That's what I
Nah.
said.
I was like,
I'm like,
you
why
can
wouldn't
put
you
faith
give
in
them
there?
That's literally like fucking vibranium, bro. You don't want to give that to the government.
That
That
shit
pissed me
billions
off
and
so
billions
much.
of dollars.
I just
Auction
like,
it on eBay. Sell it to whoever's
Also,
replacing
yeah.
Tony Stark.
Okay.
You straight up
I
could have given them a fake one, and then you gave them the real shield. For what reason? Because you have an
Even-
inferiority complex. You have to get rid of that,
God.
my friend.
Even Rhodey, the biggest bootlicker, was like, no. Brody, bootlicker numero uno, was like, I don't think you're making the right choice.
It was a dumb decision. It was
so dumb. Because now you're not going to get that back. You're not going to get it back till, like, Bucky, like, punches that dude in the face and steals it off him. As he should.
The fake Captain America.
Dollar store Captain America. Great value. Lieutenant United States.
Like, no, like, that actor was cast well, because sometimes you need someone to look like a bitch, and he did.
Sometimes you see someone and you're like, your face is so punchable.
I'm very
so
sorry.
punchable.
This is not meant to be offensive at all. But I genuinely thought that was Casey Neistat, and I was just like, when did Casey get into acting?
No.
I looked at the face, just like, isn't him? I was very confused.
Listen, there were so many emotions in that last moment, but part of me was just like, a white man!
A white man?
A white man!
God. In this economy?
Any different?
Did I expect any different? No, but it should have been.
It should have been.
Like, it should have been.
When it was like, one of the things that annoys me the fucking most is when they're like, a white man represents America, and I'm like, white people are not the majority of Americans. They're like, what, 40% right now? And I'm like, so they're less than half of the American. If I reached into a bag, picked out a random American, they're more than likely not a white person. And I'm just like, so what's not clicking? What is it? What is not clicking?
Because that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted the white person to represent America.
You know who represents America in my mind? Angela Bassett.
Mm.
You know what I was actually really surprised
Give
they did?
Angela Bassett the shield.
I half expected them to run a be the next Captain America reality TV show.
That would have been the most American choice. That would have been the correct
winner
American option.
Would be Captain America.
Yeah.
I half expected that to happen.
Should have.
And maybe this is also a petty thing to think, but quite literally, if you're gonna pick a white man, you have to make sure they're as high.
You're right.
Yeah.
See
the previous.
Okay,
one.
so this is this is my pitch for an alternative.
You can't come in with the Walmart version.
No.
Literally, they're just like.
We're not looking for great value. We're not looking for up and up.
This is actually my pitch for. This is my pitch for an alternative storyline for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
So, at the end of the first episode, instead of how it was announced that fake Captain America is fake Captain America, or Captain America, as we should call him.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of that, they announce a contest that's basically like a beauty pageant.
Yes.
Like American men.
For Mr. America, Captain America. Yeah.
It's a Mr. America pageant where they make people perform, and then the winner gets to be Captain America, and that's how the show goes on. But then Sam enters the contest as to be the next Captain America because he's pressured into it by who? Torres. Torres pressures him into it and acts as his manager. And then Bucky comes in, episode 3 or 4, and wrecks the whole pageant. And then they run away together and go on adventures. There we go.
Listen.
Wow.
Okay. I'm ruminating on this, and I'm thinking about what judges would represent America. The first judge has to be Elmo.
Elmo. Okay, we have to have a kid. We have to have a kid representative. So I agree with Elmo.
Right. Also PBS, Public Broadcasting Network.
I
on
agree.
the same vein of equal access. Elmo, also funny. And then next up.
I was gonna say Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
Beyonce. Yeah.
And
Fair.
Guy Fieri.
I think that's a reasonable panel.
Together.
And plot twist: one of the most eligible contestants ends up having a Hydra past, and then they get
Of
eliminated.
course I did. That would be okay.
That's gonna be
right
right before Final Four bullshit.
That we stole from The Bachelor. people are gonna say we stole from the latest season of The Bachelor.
It's a parody of the
Parody. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Once again,
I mean, and it's fine. The producers have already picked who the real Captain America is anyway. We just go through it, the motions.
Captain America we've seen, like they
Yeah.
already decided that's who wins.
But we get like the illusion of choice, and it's like a fun little spectacle, which is very American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really feel like this should have been the alternative timeline.
Yeah. In the nicest way, I want Bucky to slap Sam once.
Metal arm or regular arm?
Regular arm.
Regular arm.
But he thought about the metal one.
He's definitely, because one of the things, because I know the thing that I really want to happen, which is I want 90-year-old Captain America to yell at him on the phone, like old man style, like, back in my day, we respected gifts we were given. How dare you give my thing to, I'm an old man now. Like,
That's a great impression.
That. Thank you. And we won't get that, so I think the thing that would make me happy as, like, Sam's punishment for trusting the government at any point is to Bucky just to slap him once and can be like,
I agree.
Okay.
And then he just is like, let's go get the shield now.
I see your Bucky slapping Sam, and I raise you a metal arm Sam slap fight, but it's with the Falcon wings and Bucky's metal arm fussing back and forth. Let's have that conversation.
That would be equally good to me.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be. I just really want at least one time for Bucky to say, I should have stayed in Wakanda. Because you know he's thinking.
Yeah. What are the...
He enjoyed to stay there.
He enjoyed the stay. He was just like, listen, I have actually good therapists. We have healthcare, medicine.
Honestly, even torn up Wakanda, yeah, like post Thanos, post War Zone is still better social support system.
You know what I was thinking about? Like, Wakanda doesn't like anyone that's not Wakandan. So how did that go? And they actually aren't really big fans of white people. So like, how?
Well, Chris, Steve, by extension, Chris Jamal Evans advocated for Bucky, and they did him a solid.
I will also say, listen, when it comes to people in the past, there are people who are like racist, right? And we remember them. But there are people who are too poor to be prejudiced, and they're just like, and I'm just like, Bucky and Steve were those people from the past. Because let's not forget that Bucky was also a nerd. He wanted to go to a science fair before he went to war. That was like his big thing. He was like, dude, let's go to a science fair. And then his squad was Steve, an Irishman, which during Nina, a Japanese man, and a black man. And then he's on ice. Then he comes back from ice and he goes straight to Wakanda. And I'm just saying, Bucky has like, except for Steve, Bucky has just like no more white people.
Yeah. What is trusting white people helped him? Yeah. What
did white people do for me except give me more trauma?
Right. And this is a good question too. Given Bucky's past, we know that we know that Disney is too much of a coward to let them be gay. Do we think they're gonna set them up with white bitches?
I think Sam is gonna be set up with a white bitch.
I see that coming. But also, like, a part of me is just like, I don't really feel like they are going to get romantic love interest in this. I don't really see where can that go? Where can that fit in?
Oh, I've thought that many times, but Marvel has always managed to shoehorn it somewhere.
I'm just looking at the story, or like where we're going with the story, and I'm just like, where would you fit in?
Okay.
A love interest.
Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron. I'm worried.
So much. All I read is not all I read, but I read so many romance writings. Even I'm like, Bucky has so much more there. Like, Bucky can have like a nice one-night stand with someone that will like be the one that got away, so he can get like a nice, good night cuddle. Because I think he needs a good 5-hour cuddle minimum to just like get him to a baseline, but no one in the story. Maybe the sister. Maybe Sam's sister deserves someone.
I mean, at this point, it's really too early to tell, like, what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I
very...
I think the restaurant lady is coming back too, because I swear I saw her in the credits, right? With like a thing, like a pose. Is it because Shield loves to be like, oh, we'll give you a girlfriend? Just kidding, it's an agent. Surprise therapy, bitch.
God.
Maybe.
That's never a
She
good
was
thing.
too fucking good at Battleship.
Yeah.
She was too good.
God.
She was really good at Battleship, actually. Now that I think about it.
Honestly, that was a hot date. I was jealous. I was like, I want to be on a date with this hot lady.
Yeah, I
That
want to play
sounded
Battleship
really
and
fun.
drink beer in a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I love how like Bucky is just like, yeah. The one thing, this is also a random thing about like the characterization of like Bucky in this show. It really does give you like a little glimpse into the future, because he was just like, what's that one thing? They're like pachinko or something, where he was like,
Pinochle.
what's wrong with this game? Pinochle.
Yeah.
I was like, what's wrong with Pinochle? I don't know why.
That's completely different.
I don't know. But like he was like, what's wrong with Pinochle? I was like, oh my god, wait. Things don't become old people things, they just grow with old people, right?
Yeah.
So that Pinochle was the shit, and I was like, oh my god. Watch Cards Against Humanity be like the old person thing.
It's already over it.
It is.
Like, if I went to someone's, like, a house party and someone legitimately brought out Cards Against Humanity, like, let's all have a fun time, I would go to the kitchen and drink. I'm gonna be that person.
Was the date hot, or was the lady hot enough that any date would be hot?
You make a good point there.
I mean, like,
everything.
I thought it was fun.
It was
I thought
cute.
it was fun.
Yeah. I think it's also a nice low key, because also you don't have to have the eye contact. I like dates where you can let your eyes do what they need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just like one of those things where I'm just like, he's like, especially when he was talking about dating apps, could you imagine? Or one thing, music, like,
God.
what if Rihanna got blipped? Like, what would happen to the culture? And
Oh,
Rihanna goes back
okay.
Like, you know
What are you talking about? What if Rihanna got blipped? What, she's not gonna give us an album? Oh. We're there.
I know, but like, I just like, part of me was like the concept of the blip. I'm like, what happens? Like, what happens to like because
Yeah, like you have all these people.
Like,
Oh,
yeah, because I would be like, oh, look at this new skirt that I bought, and they're like, oh my god, that's so 5 years ago. I was like, bitch, that's yesterday to me.
God.
Like, what is this? What is this nexus of culture?
Because I'm also just imagining, like, if you went back 5 years, like, if, let's say, half the world was blipped in, like, our world, and we still had the thing, like, imagine going back 5 years ago and just, like, playing, like, 100 gecs or, like, hyperpop, like, this is more mainstream now. Like, it existed then, but, like, this is what it is now, and everyone just being like, what the fuck?
Like, yeah.
Wait, so what year is it in the show? Like, what year is it in the show?
I think it's modern day.
I think it's like 2023. I think it's like slightly farther ahead of us.
Yeah.
And when did the blip happen?
5 years and 3 months prior.
So, I mean, like,
Yeah,
what
so it
year?
is 2023. So -5, 2018, using my powers of arithmetic.
I don't know what was
Oh
happening
my.
in
2018.
Like, if the blip had happened in, like, 2013, 2014, like, imagine coming back and being like, oh my god, like, mustaches everywhere.
Oh my god.
Like, the color mint is, like, the color that's in.
The snap was 2018.
Honestly,
the blip. Okay.
I have this very strong opinion about mint as a color, and I know this is off book, but like I have ADHD, and everyone's gonna have to suffer because of it. But
Yeah.
the concept of mint being popular, and I think not really fading away, is the same reason why pink is popular, because pink is just light red, right? It's just red and white, but we gave it the word pink, and now it's like solid, and now mint, which is just like our version of like teal or blue green, finally has a color, So like now I think it's here to stay. And I say this partially because of my own educational trauma, because my favorite color as a child was teal, but I didn't know the word for teal because I was like 5. And when in kindergarten, they're like, "What's your favorite color?" I said blue, like blue green.
Like the crayon.
That's what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. And then the teacher was like, "Blue green's not a color. Is your favorite color blue or green?" And I was like, "No, it's blue green." I was like, "Blue green's not a color." So I went home, got a crayon, brought it back, and I was like, "Blue green." And she was like, "Blue or green? You have to pick one. You can't."
No,
just
I
make up
don't.
a color."
Your teacher sounds like a
And
bitch.
yeah, and so I picked purple, which was my second favorite color, and I like kept that as my favorite color for like years. But like part of me was like, "Bitch, if I could go back with the vocabulary that I have today, I would call her, first of all, a motherfucker. Second of all, I'd be like, bitch, my favorite color is mint. What you gonna do about it?"
Well, first of all, I really think like that's more on the teacher for not knowing what the color teal was.
Yeah.
That's true. I think it was because I was like 5, so they're like, "Oh, we have to like cap your knowledge at what we think 5-year-olds can use." And I was like,
That's a 4-letter
"Teach a
word.
5-year-old."
That's a 4-letter word.
God.
It's a 4-letter word. Like it's not a hard one. It's not like chartreuse.
Also, it's in the Crayola box. It's in the 12-pack of Crayola colors. It's not like an advanced color. We're not at Tickle Me Pink. We're not at Cornflower Blue, okay? We're not at Burnt Sienna.
Periwinkle.
It's blue-green. It's teal.
Can you
4
imagine
letters.
a fucking 5-year-old coming up to you and be like, "My favorite color is chartreuse"? But no, yeah, it's just, I have strong opinions about shit like that. And yeah, but like that's how I feel like language works. But back to the show.
Yeah, what happened to the
And-
original plot of the movie? Let's go.
Back to the original plot of the movie. So Bucky's dealing with all this nonsense, and also, what is? I don't know how I would. I feel like I would just forgive myself either too quickly if I was Bucky, because I was like, that hoe wasn't me.
Yeah, I would absolutely forget myself too quickly. Yeah.
I have no
I'd be
idea how I
like,
would
I
react.
didn't. If I could have not done it, I would have not done it. But I
Yeah.
had to do it because I literally was backseat driving my own body.
Yeah. You were get outed. You were sunken placed.
Yeah. You're
yeah.
us.
Also, I'm just a
he
firm
was literally
believer.
us. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. I'm
Yes, Fonzie? Yes,
just
Fonzie?
like a firm believer in doing things that help you get on with your life. And it seems like just moving on would help you get on with your life. Not like that it's always that easy, but that's why I'm not a fan of the whole having to make amends with every single person that you've wronged in some sort of weird effect, because he didn't have a choice in the matter. I don't honestly see how bringing that up, how cutting open that wound for someone, burning one of the like little tenuous friendship bridges that he's made, I don't see how that's going to help him grow.
I also
feel
think that like
part
a lot of
that-
the times where these like helping for closure things are just entirely, for lack of a better word, selfish, because it's not helping the person you actually hurt. It's entirely for your own benefit.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know how like good of a message it is to be like absolutely wreck these people's healing processes for your own betterment.
But I also
because-
feel like part of it isn't him actually making amends, because the one where he goes to the Hydra agent who was like, she's still abusing the power I gave her. I think part of it is like, because she is a government therapist, is them doing their own secret cleanup.
Yeah, that's
Of
it.
just being
That's
like,
really-
oh, you remember someone? Let's see, and like tie up all loose ends, because like, how else are they gonna get caught?
So, low
Which is
resistance.
why I don't believe it.
Yeah, low resistance brings up a good point. If you'd taken one of your loved ones, would you be able to let it go because of brainwashing? Yeah, because I have. No. If someone was brainwashed, I could, and I know this because I have lost loved ones due to someone else's actions where they were accountable for their actions and not brainwashed. And if they were, I don't think I would hold them responsible for it because it's not their fault. I only hold them responsible for it because they fucking killed my grandparents.
I would hold Hydra responsible. I'd be like,
Yeah.
part of me was just, I think that's like one of the main things that separate people when they watch Civil War, because I'm just like, he was a tool. He wasn't a person. He literally was. They popped him out of an icicle.
Yeah.
Beep boop bop, do that, and then put him back in. He was a literal tool. He wasn't a human being anymore, which I think
I
is
don't think
the
I could.
scarier part.
I couldn't have like a relationship with that person, like as in like I don't.
I
Think
can
could be
respect
friends with
that. Yeah, I could respect
Yeah,
that.
I wouldn't be friends with him. If he like murdered my family, I'd be like, oh, that's I don't want to do that.
I just simply would not associate with him.
I would
like,
prefer it if they just did not come to me to be like, do you forgive me? I'd be like, I really don't want to see your face. Thank
Oh
you, though."
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because like the thing is, years have passed.
Yeah.
Years have passed so far that like a lot of these people have already gone through their own journeys to move on. So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like it like I truly believe that like that. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of like when I went to a doctor once, and I was like, "Hey doc, I'm like I got that big sad. I got that big depression." And they're like, "Oh, it's just because you're in university. Here's a pamphlet on mindfulness. Do that." And I was like,
Oh god.
That really,
and I think that's
really
exactly
is
what they did. Like, I really think they're just like,
Yeah.
we quite literally have never met someone with this problem, but we're just gonna use that same AA pamphlet. Here you go, and they're gonna assume that it works.
And I think the problem that Bucky's in is that he's not going to go and get the help he needs of his own volition because of who he is as a person. And so the closest thing he's going to get to help is government mandated therapy that he's never going to open up for, A, because of who he is as a person, and B, because I wouldn't fucking trust the government. Like, I mean, we all just watch WandaVision, we've seen SWORD is still up to the same bullshit, everyone's still doing the same bullshit. So it's kind of one of those like catch-22 situations where it's like, I don't know what the right move is for Bucky, because he clearly needs help, but none of the avenues that are available to him are actually going to be helpful.
I stand by my assessment that Bucky needs an old friend of color, like an old black man, an old Mexican man, someone who is not white, to just go out with him in a boat and fish with him.
Yeah.
And that will fix the problems eventually. Just like I think he's just like one of those people, especially if they went through some shit and then one day he'd be like, this happened, and then be like, damn man, that sucks, and they keep fishing.
Yeah.
I like think he just needs a friend, because I feel like tangling this in like romantic relationships is not a good idea.
Oh, for sure, no.
Or get a cat.
It really feeds, I've mentioned this before, but it really feeds into the whole like, oh, once you like fix your damaged white boy, he'll be the best boyfriend ever, like bullshit. And it's like, maybe just maybe he should work through his own traumas without someone else having to do it for him.
Yeah, and there's non-zero chance we're gonna get fishing with him and Sam. So that is close to the wise young brother. Although Sam isn't wise because he gave up the fucking shield like a dumbass.
Yeah.
I
High Ant Low Wiz.
I almost would. Bah.
So
That's
annoying.
dumb.
Yeah, I think Fonz agrees that a therapy cat would work great.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to say more on that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Very insightful.
Right. I appreciate that.
Thanks for your input, Fonz.
Thank you, Fonz. Also, do you think we're gonna get more super serumed people?
I think so.
Yeah, probably. Do we think that Captain America? Do we think that they did anything to him? There's no way he's just some dude, right?
I think something did happen, and I have a feeling the government tried to make new Captain America juice. Some of it got leaked, or as per usual, a white man was like, I can do some bad shit with this power. And so New America Man and that new terrorist organization is linked, and everyone's gonna be like, oh god, now I have to deal with this new drug again.
Like, I think we should talk about the like group that is being like presented as the villain. I don't want to call them villains, but I think they're being presented as the villains, because I get their point. Like, I get their point, and what they're saying is just like, you know what? Having a world without borders again, like, sounds pretty rad.
Well,
but I do. Yeah.
I think you first.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think another thing too about the people thinking before the blip being better is when you have such a large catastrophic event. Unless you're MCU Hawkeye and you just decide to go become a serial killer, most everyone else starts leaning on each other for support. You know, like Cap had like the support groups and the like the World Without Borders is like a larger indicator of that. And something about that feeling of we're all trying to survive together that you lose as soon as everyone who didn't experience that trauma, who doesn't have that shared perspective and that like baggage that they're carrying with them. But not only do they not have that, but they don't seem to like be able to respect the changes and the things that have improved in the absence of all of the bullshit systems that are inherently oppressive.
I think it's going to be an interesting line because the other thing is like they robbed a bank and resorted to violence quite quickly. It wasn't evasive maneuvers only, so that part is the part where like I'm kind of holding on to it and like not analyzing, but like looking deeper, because part of me was just like the people, we do focus on the people who had to spend 5 years alone, which is obviously its own trauma, but like the people who came back, they also would probably be quick to that model in a weird way, like in a non-linear way, because they're going to be like, I'm fucking confused.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, okay, cool, we're in this more socialist, communist like way of thinking, you know, we're collectivist. And they'll be like, okay, cool. And then they'll be like, wait, I want my life before, but it doesn't exist. But so I think that shift would be a little rocky, but I think a lot of people would keep into that. I think the thing that is, it's the people. I think there are people who are going to be using the blip as propaganda, which I think might be something we will see in this one, because we're seeing how people treat vets. We're seeing the microaggressions of just like, oh, these systems, even though every single person has been affected by this event and can have this empathy, we are still seeing people choosing to be shitheads.
And we also did see, like, even the good guys that got blipped, we got to see between, like, Sam and Sarah, how, like, even Sam, he's a good person, does not understand how the world was different during the blip because he got blipped. And Sarah has to, like, break it down to him multiple times, like, yeah, the way you're thinking, that doesn't work anymore. That didn't work that didn't work while you were gone because things changed. Now that you're back, things have changed again, but you can't see that the way I see that because I was here and you weren't.
Yeah. And again, the whole process of trying to get a loan shows that in the wake of the blip, a lot of these institutions have gotten more punitive. Like they said, since then, we've had to tighten up because so many people are coming back. So whatever semblance of architecture they had established during that 5 years, you know, they changed and then it changed again. But it's just, I could see even with people who were brought back also wanting a break, you know? Since the world isn't what you hear about how much better it was in this time that you don't remember. It was shitty then, and now it's just a different kind of shitty, and you're confused and exhausted.
Yeah. Also, if I was flipped and came back, and my shit was gone, I'd be so fucking pissed.
Right.
Because I live in an apartment. So what the fuck? Where the fuck? What happened? What?
True.
I have collector's items, all right? Oh my god, imagine all the bitches with their Funko Pops, like their huge Funko Pops. Squishmallow bitches. Okay, actually, imagine coming back to the Squishmallow thing. I swear to God, I still am confused. I'm like, is this Beanie Babies mixed with Webkins? Like, what's happening with Squishmallows?
I thought it was like Beanie Babies mixed with like Pillow Pets, and then that's what.
Yeah, I think that's more the vibe. There's no web aspect; it's just a collection aspect.
But like, that's just like all these people have lost so much, and like I think the bank is like a really interesting thing about like where do you, like, the displacement and the homelessness that must ensue for a lot of people
Yeah.
is probably insane. or just like the lack, because I was like, if I was blipped out and blapped back in, I have no money.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like, especially because it's not like the olden days where there was like a gold standard, right? All of the economy is just loose agreements between countries, and so you have that breaking down, but also like the actual infrastructure, because we don't know who got blipped. It's just half of the world, so like, who, like, your main priority, whose priority is it to ensure that all of the servers that are tracking all of this information are still up? Who's making sure that, like, okay, we've got the power grid back up, where are we allocating this? We're going to make sure that none of these computer systems go offline, or are we going to make sure that, like, we can have food and, like, water in this area? So
I can only imagine how absolute hell that the first year's is.
yeah.
Because it's only 3 months after the blip right now, right?
yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Handsmith is
Just
right. It's
hell.
like, this
Hell
is
for
a
the first
parallel
year.
for COVID. Like, what post-COVID is like.
Yeah, because in the people who are blipped back like nothing happened, it's almost like the people who just haven't been following any guidelines this whole time, who are just annoyed that things are different and refuse to acknowledge that things are supposed to change.
100%. Yeah. What's the other thing? I forgot something. Ting. I forgot a thought.
Yeah. Well, while you're thinking of this thought, just talking about the episode, because we're kind of just talking about it as a whole. I think, Momo, you're the one who mentioned that you were kind of upset that they didn't meet in this first episode.
Yeah.
I was as well, just because I know the storylines are going to intersect, but, you know, Marvel does that thing where they're always constantly positioning for the next thing that they're doing, which is half content and then half positioning for something else. And so I hope there's not too much exposition that is just setting what the story is, even though it's important. Like, I feel like we got a lot of information. But again, we had like a solid like 15-minute action sequence of a like 45-minute episode, and it's like if we had a shorter of that, and it would have led us to a bit more resolution, because I still don't know what the story is going to be, because nothing that I really saw in the trailer, you know, you kind of get an idea what it's going to be, has happened in the series yet, so I still don't know what it is. And it's kind of different because WandaVision was like, I don't know what it is, but I know something big is happening. Whereas here, I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be, like, not even like Easter egg theories for, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be, like, feeling, or like what kind of a story this is.
Like, I feel like the feeling at the end of the pilot episode of WandaVision was different. Like, it was just like, I feel like it ended up more on a high with the end of WandaVision episode 1. But then the end of Winter Falcon, like episode 1, I was just like, I'm just confused.
Yeah, like okay, we'll see if episode 2 is like is more.
Yeah,
I liked it in the sense that like I liked that it felt messy, because I feel like
the world
for me,
was
I just felt like we felt like the way everyone else is feeling, because I was just like, this is, because the episode brought up a lot of different emotions. Like, Bucky's trauma was, all of that Bucky was going through was a lot. The fact that he was sleeping on the floor, I was just like, this man's not in a bed.
God.
He's sleeping on the floor.
His
kid. Only friend is an old man whose son he's murdered. And like, someone was just like, oh, how old are you? And he's like, I'm 106 years old. Like, he was just a mess. And then we go to Sam, who is a different kind of mess, and also dealing with, like, infamy as well as fame. Like, the fact that the person who was like, are you an athlete? Because I think I know you from somewhere. I'm just like, he's the Falcon.
Yeah.
He's the fucking Falcon. And, like, his sister, who like, the props to that actress, because I felt her haggardness the entire, like, through my bones. And I was, like, ending of that, I was just like, yeah, this world is fucked up, and I don't know how it's gonna change. And I'm like, I feel like that might be what this series is. It's just like, how are we gonna change? Yeah. So that, for me, I liked, but maybe that's not the point, so...
I also feel like
me on my own journey with the show.
I feel like Marvel should give us a feel-good series, because I was like, thinking about this in the Disney Plus iterations of Marvel TV. I never saw Iron Fist, but I watched Daredevil and Jessica Jones, and both of those also had a very similar vibe of we're getting into some shit. Like,
Agreed.
Luke Cage also had a lot going on.
I need to finish Luke Cage. I started it and then
Yeah,
didn't finish.
part of me was just like, listen, we're just getting different trauma. Now first we had Wanda and her introspective trauma.
Yeah.
And now we're getting the government and everything you thought you could rely on has failed you. Like, because Bucky and Sam are vets and they're getting fucked over, and we're getting the intersectionality of PTSD and racism through their two experiences. And I like that we had them separate a little bit, because it also kind of, because I feel like if they were already together, it would be, I don't think I would be able to see their like motivations and personalities of like why they were.
Yeah.
Because then we would just be more them versus like who, like what are their needs, like separate of each other.
Do you know how many episodes are supposed to be in this season or this series?
Not a clue.
I assume probably about 10.
Okay. Because like I feel like we should at least have them interact
6
by episode. Only 6 episodes?
6? Ah. Okay.
Only 6 episodes?
I feel like they're gonna get longer then.
I don't trust it.
Episode. I'm not gonna wait till halfway through the series for them to be like,
Not in esta pandemia.
I think it's gonna happen sooner than later. I'm gonna give them a crumb of faith. Is it because WandaVision was good enough where I'm like, I'll give you a crumb of faith? Maybe.
Yeah.
But also,
I do believe that. Sorry, go ahead.
Part of me was just like, did no one text Wanda after? Like, I understand she fucked off into the mountains, but like part of me was like, actually no, this is why I'm more mad. Actually, this is one of the things I forgot. How in the actual hell did Sam go, I'm gonna give this shield to the motherfucking government after WandaVision happened? Did no one tell Sam that White Vision exists? Like, did no one communicate that? I understand Wanda was like, I need a fucking break, but like, you're telling me there was no chat on the Twitter that there were 2 fucking Visions? You're telling me this motherfucker was just like, oh, they took Vision's corpse and created a new monster? I can give the government the shield and expect everything to be fine? Are you shitting me, Sam? Are you looking me in my black ass face and spitting in it? Because that's disrespectful.
Now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure he gave it to the Smithsonian, and I don't think the Smithsonian is run by the government, is it?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not know
Government
that.
funded mostly. Yeah, it's
I did not know that.
So the Smithsonian is like a network in DC. So like,
okay.
First of all, you're in DC regardless, which means you're close.
You're right.
And like, what is the government gonna be like? Oh, this belongs to a museum. We can't take it.
Like, first of all, the government is either even if it wasn't run by the government would have just been like, give it to me, and they would have been like, okay.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the really fun fact. So Hobby Lobby created museum and gallery student here. I graduated. Museum and gallery student.
The Hobby Lobby to ISIS pipeline.
Yeah, Hobby Lobby created basically a Bible museum near in DC in like that Smithsonian area, and that was like causing a huge issue because of the way they branded themselves. That people they were like, you're using you're being Smithsonian adjacent to give yourself more legitimacy, to the point where I don't know if there was like legal ramifications, but like it was a huge thing where people were like, you're using us to give yourself clout. We kind of need you to back the fuck up. And Hobby Lobby was just like, we're stealing artifacts from other lands, and we're just saying Jesus was real, so fuck off. And you're like, all right. So, fun facts there.
Fun facts. Yeah. I don't know.
I want to see more of Torres.
I want
But
him to be okay.
I feel like he's gonna die. I feel like he's gonna get killed.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I don't think he will, because in the comics he becomes the other Falcon.
Okay, so if Falcon becomes Cap, he becomes Falcon?
Yes.
Okay.
He has the potential to be.
Okay. I
think they were ramping up sidekick potential with him because he had the fanboyness. He had similar smarts. He has the pure heart. I was terrified he was gonna get his back broken. I was like, After Rhodey, I was like, they took that motherfucker's legs again. They took another motherfucker's legs.
Also, someone said if they're not gonna kiss, you don't want them. They're not gonna kiss. They're not.
Gonna kiss.
It's not queer baiting if you have absolutely no faith that they would portray an obliquely queer relationship in their media, and it's not gonna happen. Should it happen? Yes. Is it? No.
It should.
Like, Young Avengers is gonna happen. Like, we just gotta be patient for that. That's gonna happen.
They're too gay.
They buried their gays without even having them come out in WandaVision.
No, it's not technically burying when they evaporate into thin air.
I think they're just in a different dimension.
Is it?
Again, yeah, part of me, once again, why the fact that Wanda had to go to Tony Stark's funeral will always just sit incorrectly in my spirit. I was just like, this woman has had 3 interactions with this man. Killed her family.
All of which have been negative.
Created the thing that killed her brother. Did give her a boyfriend, but still killed her brother. And then got her in shock color underwater prison.
Yeah. Oh, and let's not also forget the fact that they named the Accords that further victimized her and people liked her after her hometown that he's responsible for destroying.
Truly, I was just like, at what point will Wanda know peace?
Never.
I think that's the squad that we're in right now. Like, when will they know peace? I think Sam is like deluding himself into peace. I think he's in denial.
Yes. Correct.
Wanda was in bargaining by creating her own world. And I don't know what stage Bucky's in.
I think he's still in depression.
Yeah,
Bucky's very sitting deeply in depression right now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for him to have emotions.
God.
Do I think they'll be negative? I truly hope he just leans in to be the grumpy old man.
I'm just ready for the banter. I want the playful banter between him and Sam.
They gave me so much in them trailers, and I'm just like,
where at though?
I mean, we got it kind of with like Torres. What's his name, by the way? I completely forgot his first name.
I don't know. I barely remember the episode.
I reference anime characters by hair color and personality trait. You're not gonna get me to remember anyone else's name.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, sorry. It's like a storm just rolled in, so like now my sun is gone.
Rip.
Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second.
The sun will come out.
Yeah, we're also closing in on about an hour.
The sun really went away. Bye.
If that means anything.
Oh, his name's Joaquin? Thank you,
Joaquin Torres.
Triceratops. You're a real one.
But yeah, so we've been streaming for about an hour. Probably solid 50 minutes of that has been audio if we wanted to.
Oh my gosh.
Close. Or not. We can keep going, but Momo's very dark right now.
Just in the dark. Okay, I want to end on the great question.
Oh, that's not
Who
great.
Of the big 3 are you guys?
Who?
Are you a wizard, an alien, or a robot? I'm definitely a wizard.
I'm probably wizard.
Okay, well I was gonna say wizard, but now that's taken. So I'm gonna pick alien.
Oh, I said wizard as well.
Yeah, well none is even more taken. I'm probably a wizard, but I'd put alien in my back pocket. I really like outer space.
I think you're more alien than wizard, because between Nebula and Gamora, I feel like you'd definitely be more alien.
That is fair. I think I would like to be an alien, like in the way Thor's an alien, you know?
Agreed.
Like, you know.
Or Valkyrie.
Or Valkyrie. I don't know if I'm cool enough to be Valkyrie. I am dorky enough to be Thor, though.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
I'm a hardcore wizard all the way. Mostly because I realized of all the wizards that are in the series, a lot of them have the I'm doing my own shit until I have to be here. And I'm like,
agreed.
I think that's my vibe. Also, as a burlesque dancer, the ability to change costumes in a magical way. I got that. I think that translates.
Amazing.
I just went with wizard because it was the closest to like magician, and I'm still obsessed with the magicians.
Oh my god, we need to have a whole separate episode to just talk about the magicians.
I love that show.
The
so
Magic
much.
Ians, as I like to call it. I still haven't seen season 5. I don't know if it's gonna happen at this point.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
Also,
You will.
This is for the chat. Does the chat have any questions for us?
Oh
For us to
yeah.
answer?
Q&A portion.
I'm paying attention.
Alien that practices magic. I don't want to be greedy. Definitely cool enough to be Valkyrie. You guys think I'm a lot cooler than I am because you get the cultivated self I put online. You guys didn't see me. All I did yesterday
Even more,
for
like amazing, like Grandmaster.
I literally spent hours watching HBO docuseries about European history and playing solitaire.
I've been reading.
I just want to let the chat know that Amelia's
Reincarnation.
lying. Like, they're very cool.
Yeah. And we all do things. I've been reading reincarnation anime, like mangas, till like 1 in the morning.
Oh, love that.
Like, you know, I've been reborn as a villainess, and now I gotta like take over the empire. Those plot lines, I'm eating that shit up.
God, I just gotta.
Or there's one called like The Strongest Florist, and it's this like big buff dude who's allergic to flowers, so he's trying to open a flower shop in a VR video game. I'm eating that shit up as well.
Amazing. I just got a book about the.
Like, goes for being cool in high school. Traitor to us.
A traitor. I was the co-captain of the robotics team in high school. Okay, and the captain of the art club. But I also did just get a book about the history of tulips and their impact on society. So, you know, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. If I was a flower, I don't know what type of flower to be.
Oh yeah.
I'd have a mellow scent, I think. And
You
I
were
wanna
a
have
fencer, exposed.
What?
Oh yeah. I forget what I tell people online. I can't. Yeah, I would do it again, but I couldn't do it when I went to college because I never had time, and then now we're in a pandemic. But yeah, I still have all my stuff.
Oh my gosh. Wait,
Exposed
okay, but like
for being
actually
cool
though.
in high school.
Right.
Okay, I didn't do this in
So
high
I'm a
school.
huge jock.
But if you fence, I throw axes and dabble in archery. So in a world, we could
LARP.
I wasn't gonna say LARP, but
Okay,
I was gonna
yeah.
say we can do a violence.
We could do a violence. It's been a while since I fenced.
Momo would just throw daggers with her eyes.
I think so. I think I could do that. But
The eye dagger.
that's why I'm the one that needs powers, because I don't have actual skills. Like, I don't have any.
Oh no.
I need the magical powers.
Yeah, I do drink enough to be Valkyrie. So, you know. That's fair. Magical powers, assigned mage. Yeah, we just did it the original way of doing stats for D&D, where you just roll all of your stats and then you just see what you can be good at, and then you pick your class.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's what Amelia. Okay, if you had to assign me a role in D&D, what would it be?
I would probably make you a cleric, but not a healing cleric.
I'm like, I feel offended. Thank you.
You would be a cleric, but you wouldn't be a healer, is the thing. Like,
I'm a cleric.
Useless for the team.
no, you would do
I'm a
damage.
cleric. Yeah,
I don't know.
I play a cleric. I'm a death assassin cleric or something.
Yeah. No, it's actually very cool. Okay, I play a cleric in a different campaign. Yeah, like a war cleric. So like, you would like use your healing very sparingly, like if you thought someone deserved it. But most of the time, you would be like, yeah, why would I heal you when I can cast magic and like destroy the bad guy, like something like a trickery or wart or tempest. Because I don't think you'd be a wizard, because I don't really see you just like, you're not as enough of an asshole to be a wizard. And I also think like you would get magic, but I don't see you just like sitting down and just studying to like get all of your magic powers. I don't think you would make a warlock pact because I think you're too wise for that. So I think cleric. I think you would find a deity or someone who would give you magic without having to sell your soul.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, what about me? I want to be judged.
You want to be judged?
Jury. Executioner.
I think you would be a bard just because you're definitely a support caster of some kind. And bards are like support characters because they're always helping your friends. Also, just you're incredibly charismatic, which is what
I'm a
bards
bitch,
get.
first and foremost.
I also feel like you kind of embody the song "Life of a Bard."
Fair. Who's to say a bard is not a bitch? I would say bard. Just believe in yourself enough to get magic. You could be a paladin. It depends on if you want to do magic or if you want to smash things. I don't know what you're feeling in any day.
I usually play mage because I like, whenever I like pick a cast, because I'm just like, I want to not have to get my clothes dirty.
Yeah.
I don't want things near me. Like
you're a bard. You're a bard who has prestidigitation and fireball. Like you're like a glamour. You're probably a glamour bard.
Glamour bard.
Yeah.
Every time I play a game, like I play Dragon Age a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
play Dragon Age Inquisition at the moment, and I tried my best not to play a mage, and the class I picked was Alchemist, or I think it is Rogue, where I just throw elemental mind bombs first, and then I poison things and create a toxic death cloud. And I was like, I feel like I just did archery magic. Is what I picked.
Yeah. You could do arcane trickster rogue, but I feel like you would enjoy being a bard. It is magic. It is you're a mage. It's technically not being mage, lol.
Yeah, it's technically not. Yeah, I think every time I'm like, even when I was playing Mass Effect, I picked the one that had like the most magically powers because I was like, I need everyone to back the fuck up away from me.
Yeah.
I will. Actually, this might tell you a lot about my personality moving forward, but in Mass Effect, if I could, I would backhand pistol whip anybody before I would shoot them. I actually beat a boss battle once by backhanding something over the edge of a cliff.
Phenomenal.
I was just like, the story of Parker pistol whipping Shepard, taking over the galaxy.
Amazing.
Not taking over, saving the galaxy.
No, same difference. Same difference.
Yeah.
Honestly, at the end of it, I was saving people out of spite. I was like, I've done all this work and none of you hoes are listening to me. Fuck all y'all. Like, I'm recreating the world in my image, and I'm deciding who lives and dies. You wasted your chance for diplomacy. But next week, what we hope is that Sam and Bucky meet up. We get some hot banter. We do not get any romance. Where the fuck is Sharon Carter?
I don't know.
I don't think it's really important.
I don't know.
Listen, I'm ready for a Sharon Carter redemption arc.
I don't know anything about Sharon Carter. I just know that she kissed Cap once, and we were supposed to care for whatever reason.
We were supposed to care and not think, that's kind of weird.
It is
a little weird.
Again, I've been on messy TikTok long enough to be like, white people do that though. The amount of times I see those like, I caught my husband cheating with my mother, and I'm like, with your mom? The fact that it was more than 2 TikToks from different people, I was like, you know what? Somehow this led so much realism to so many movies that I've watched. I was like,
what am I think the villain group that we have right now is like based off of, I think the name is Flagmaster. Is that the name of the guy in the comics? I want to see what they're about. I want to see what they're about, really. Like, maybe we'll get Torres going into one of their like meetings where we get to hear them actually talk about their cause.
yeah.
I don't know how I don't think that's gonna happen with Taurus specifically because of how it worked out the last time with like the whole selfie sending thing. That was very strange. What a weird guy. But I think we might have like Bucky, or maybe even Sam. No, probably Bucky going in undercover. I want to see more of them. I want to see the three of them together. My three boys.
Yeah.
Three boys. So
for a man with a lot of menacing aura, Bucky really does fly under the radar.
Yeah.
Do we have any hard
Smash it, thank
predictions? Yeah. Do we have any hard predictions we want to make for the next episode?
Someone's getting snapped.
I think we will get a Bucky Sam meetup in episode 2.
I think we will see Sam's nephews again.
Oh, they were cute. Also,
Bucky stayed as another spy. That's a good one. That's for sure.
I want everyone to, even those in chat, give me your top 3 characters in order of favorites, because I want to see how they go week to week.
Taurus, Sam, Bucky.
Sam's sister, Torres. Bucky.
Sam didn't even make the top 3.
No.
Yeah, Torres, Bucky, Sam's sister.
All right, well, I guess we can hope for Sam next week. We can
He
work
has
on it.
a lot of reading to do.
Torres, Sam's sisters, Bucky. Yeah.
Actually, no. I'm taking Sam off the list now. I'm going to Bucky and Sam's sister. I forgot Sam pulled that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
if you
the
didn't
shield
give
away.
up the shield, okay.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's that TikTok audio? It's like when you pull with that that shit you pull. That should have fucked you up.
Yeah.
What's that like TikTok audio? I can't remember how it goes verbatim.
I don't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
With the
I'm glad
with the
chat
shit you pulled, I
also
should have
agrees
fucked
that
you up,
Sam-
but I didn't. Yeah. So
If it weren't for
Sam.
the laws of this land.
I would have killed you. Yeah, we don't this isn't a Sam hate space, but this is a Sam is a dumbass space. He has
This is
5 more
Sam,
episodes to redeem himself.
I am so
Sam is in the
disappointed.
naughty,
I'm so
like,
disappointed.
In the timeout
Yeah.
corner. I like how Chad is like, Sam's sister is that bitch, and that is
Yeah.
a very correct thing to say.
I'm very angry with Sam right now. I'm taking him off my list of top 3.
Amazing. Okay.
Right there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next week with less of Amelia touching and redoing settings for echoes.
Yeah.
More chit chat.
Yeah,
Ooh.
maybe Deja will grace us with their presence, but like, probably not. Eventually, they will make an appearance. So
Yeah.
not right
Yeah.
now.
Stay nerdy,
Well-
stay sexy, and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.